Today on tcDetects in lockdown mode, we're looking at a map resource that allows you to see multiple maps from one simple bookmark. So go to Google Maps, find the area you're looking at and put a little placeholder on. You'll see it fires up these coordinates at the bottom. If you click on them, you'll get this little side panel. You're going to use that in a minute on a different map. So if you head over to the Geohack site, the URL is in the description of this video, and copy in the left hand side set of digits, so 537222307, and then copy it into the top right hand box. Go back, do the same with the -1.6571, put it in there, in the bottom right, then click on do it, and it'll take you to this page, and this page is where all the magic happens. So this page, as you can see on the right hand side here, this is the area we were just looking at, and what it's done is brought you to the Geohack page for the area you're looking at. Now the Geohack site is fantastic because what it's got within it is links to a number of different mapping and research resources that are all now aimed at the area you've just specified. So in essence, what you've now got is a big bookmark list where everything's already set up to look at the area that you specified earlier on. So this is one source for all the mapping links you could ever possibly want. If you scroll down the page a bit, you'll find mapping links specifically for Great Britain. So here's some good ones to check out. So you've got things that are relatively standard, like Bing's version of maps, which is similar, or not too dissimilar anyway, to Google Maps. But as you can see, it's on the area that you looked at. You just need to zoom in a little bit, but that's the area we were looking at before. So it's already picked up the location from the Geohack bookmark and taking you straight to an alternative map of the site you were looking at. So if you go back, you can then check out some other of the links. So for example, you've got Visions of Britain, which is a relatively extensive collection of historical maps, and again it's already centered onto the area you were looking at. So I'm not going to go into the resource itself, I'll let you explore, but you click on that, you'll find a bunch of maps for historical sources for the area you were looking at. So the next one, for another good example, one of the best examples probably, is the National Library of Scotland maps, which is where the side-to-side maps are that are so useful for metal detectorists. It takes you into the normal site where you can change the historical view that you're looking at. So here is the area. Once again, it's taking you straight to the area you're researching just from that one bookmark. And you can then go on to the side-by-side version of that view, so you can see the area you were looking at, both modern, which is what you saw on the Google Maps, and the historical version of it on numerous different age of maps, just by changing things around. You can also, because they've recently introduced it, overlay LiDAR maps on the modern view, so you can see the fields and whether or not there are any features that aren't perhaps as obvious that are picked up by the ever useful LiDAR. Of course, this is a lot more convenient than flicking around between different maps, going into your own bookmark system, having to retype in the location, the postcode or the area to look in different places, because everything is linked to the area that you've already put in for this set of maps. I think probably the only map that's not in this list is the tithe maps, but hey, you can't have everything. Here's another example. You go through and you can look at the magic map, which despite its name isn't actually magic, but this is the map that DEFRA I think supply. So on here again you'll see the same area that we've been looking at, again straight to it, but on the left hand side on this menu system over here you can put on a bunch of different overlays. So you can look at the aerial view of it, for example, to give you an alternative view, obviously taking a slightly different time from the Google Maps or the Bing Maps. Some different pictures. but you can also put in on the designation side, you can put in historical designations, and it'll show you things like scheduled monuments, battlefields, listed buildings. Obviously for detectorists, knowing where the listed monuments are and where you're not allowed to detect is very useful, but also knowing where there are sort of listed buildings can be useful as well. You can go and research them separately and have a look at them. But again, as I said, so everything from the one source. So if you flick back to the menu system, and if you go right to the top, rather than looking at the Great Britain list of maps, you will see some overall maps. Now, these aren't country specific, these are things like Google. So you want to get back to Google quickly after you've bookmarked it, then you can do that from there. Head back, and you'll see there's a bunch of other map resources listed here. Experiment with them, play with them, see what different views they give of the same land. It's great for checking out like different views of your permissions, things like that. But you also notice, if you scroll down a little bit further, you've got photos and Wikipedia articles for the area, so you can find out if people have been taking pictures, anything written about it, and those sort of things. You'll also see a bunch of others in other information lists. Here, for example, is one on megalithic information for the area, so it'll show you what megalithic sites, if any, or wells, altars, temples, all those sort of things are in here as well, so it can give you a really good view of more ancient history. This one also comes with a sort of section where it shows you photographs of the area as well, so again you can get a really good overview of what the area has been like in the past. So there you go, a quick canter through the Geohack site and the resources it contains. What I've done for my 10 or so permissions is create a page for each one of them. So I've got easy and quick access to the maps and research resources on here for each one by the click on one bookmark. And next up on my next research video, we're going to look at field names, how to use them, how to interpret them, and why they're great.